guys! So in another one of my late night Amazon trawling sessions, I discovered this little beauty and I'm really excited to show it to you. This is an undated B6 daily planner with adorable illustrations. I had never heard of this planner before and I still don't know a lot about it. It's made by a company called Joytop based in Hong Kong, but there is very little information about it on the internet. There's actually a website listed at the back of the planner, but when you look it up it doesn't lead anywhere. But it is available in a few places besides Amazon UK, and I'll leave those linked down below. So this is a B6 size. This is the purple one. It comes in a few different colors, mostly pastels. So there's a pink one and a blue one and a green one, I think. And it's about the same size as a personal planner. This is my personal Filofax Dominant. You can see it's just a little bit shorter. This is how it compares to an A6 Hobonichi, and then this is an A5. So you can see it's a perfect B6 right in the middle there. So it's a really nice size. If you feel like A5 is too big but A6 is too small, I think the B6 is a great size. This is what it looks like compared to the mini Happy Planner. So it's about the same size as that. I feel like B6 is kind of roughly equivalent to personal size. So it's a size that I really like. And it's hardbound, which I love because, as you know, I love bound planners and my preference is for hardbound rather than softbound. And you don't see a whole ton of these that they really just look like hardback books, and I love that. It's nice and sturdy. It just, something about it aesthetically I find very pleasing. So it's called purple, but it's actually, I'd say, more of a kind of maybe aubergine or mauve color. So it's not like a deep purple. It's kind of, it's a little bit darker than it's coming up on camera, but it's more of a sort of subtle, understated kind of purple. So on the front it says 365 daily planner. It has these two little fish, live in the moment, and then it has some like pictures of teacups, and I think this is a soup bowl. So there's an interesting theme going on in the illustrations, as you'll see, of like kind of a mix of like food and plants and various types of things, but they're all really adorable. So this is what it looks like on the side. You can see there the Joytop logo. It really, really reminds me of the Cute line from Kikki. And then this is what it looks like on the back. It's blank. So really, really nice, sturdy hardcover, just like a hardcover book. Tails heard me knocking and he thought someone was knocking at the door. There's no one there, Tails. Okay, so if we have a look on the inside, again, like just like a nice bound book, it's got this end paper here, which is like thick cardstock. And then the first page here says, hello, every morning tell yourself that you're getting better and better, and it has some little plants here. So I think that's quite cute. That's a nice little message, and I like the font. And then this is where the cuteness really kicks into high gear. You have this little fruit tree and it says, only I can change my life, no one can do it for me. And then it's got a page for personal data, so it has name, birth, email, mobile, and add, which I guess is for additional. There you are. And like most planner addicts, I never fill these in. But it's got some cute little illustrations here, apples and watermelon. And then you start with this view called Yearly Plans. So if you are familiar with the Kikki Cute diaries, you can see the resemblance here. It looks very similar. But as I said, this is undated, which normally I don't like. I really prefer my planners to be dated. But because I'm such an incorrigible planner addict, I end up buying tons of planners and then not using them all and then feeling guilty. So I think undated planners are a way for us planner enthusiasts to be able to buy more planners without feeling the pressure of having to figure out how to use them in the same year. And this is a true undated planner in that it doesn't have a yearly overview, because some undated planners give you like a 2-year overview at the front. So for example, for this year would be like 2017, 2018, which personally I would prefer not to have, because then I feel like that makes it a little bit dated in that, you know, you have only 2 years to use it. I mean, you can obviously just ignore that front page, but I like it when they're completely undated, if they're going to be undated. So anyway, this yearly plan is basically, it says project, point, don't know what that means. And then it has January through June here. And then on the next page, it has, again, project, endpoint, and then July through December. So this reminds me of the yearly overview in Erin Condren or Inkwell Press, where they give you like, 12 months worth of blank spaces that you could use for goals or to-do lists or birthdays or whatever. And I think you could do the same thing with this. So for project, you got 4 boxes. So you could use this for, like, say, 4 different areas of your life if you want to use it for goals, like work, home, personal, that kind of thing. Or you could use it for birthdays, like a kind of perpetual calendar, or tracking or travel, or like, I don't know, major events that come up over the year or something. I'm not sure what I would use this for, but I kind of like the possibilities that a spread like this gives you. And I think it's really nice how each page is a different color. And then you've got this fish theme going on here, and then here you have little boats and a lamp. So it's slightly random to me, but it's just so cute that I don't mind. And then it goes into monthly plan. So this is basically just a month on 2-page spread. And again, you have more cute little illustrations, quite random. This one is furniture. And so it says monthly plan at the top, and then it gives you the numbers 1 through 12, so you can circle the month. And it's a Monday start, which I really like. And it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So if you have a month where it has 31 days and it starts on a Sunday, then you'll have to divide the last 1 or 2 boxes, but that's quite standard. So you have this little illustration that's kind of going into the spread, which I think is really cute. And it doesn't give you any line to write the dates, it's just blank boxes, which I think is fine. Some of these undated ones give you a little designated space to write the date in, but this doesn't. And what I like about this planner is that it gives you all the months at the beginning. So I know that this is a personal preference, and some people like to have the months interspersed with the weeks. And for example, the Molang Diary, which is a similar kind of undated yearly planner, it sort of reminds me of this, if you're familiar with that one. That one intersperses the months with the weeks, and I much prefer this. I like to have all of the months, get them all out of the way, know that they're all in the same place, and then go on to the weeks. And I think that works especially well with an undated planner, because obviously sometimes with an undated planner you might leave it for a couple of months or a couple of weeks and then come back to it. And so I feel like having the months mixed in with the weeks can sort of throw you off if you've done that. Like if you've labeled the month, whereas this you just have all the months separately. Anyway, it's my little month first propaganda speech. So each one has different illustrations, which again I really, really like. And here you have this moon and stars that kind of going into the picture, but it's not so overwhelming that you couldn't write over it if you wanted to. So I'll just show you briefly all of these so you can get an idea of what the pictures look like. This is one that keeps coming up again, and to me it looks like a Frankenstein kind of picture. I don't understand what this blue face is doing here, but it comes up over and over again throughout the planner, and I take it as a symbol of Frankenplanning. So cars and rain, and like the pictures are really random to my mind, but again, very cute. Socks. I like this little tree. Trees, fish, stars, flowers, and like a cooking pot and a fish. More trees and like pot plants. I mean, plants in pots. And then more of these weird blue faces. So you get 12 of those, I believe. And then after that, it goes on to this spread with project on the left, and then it says name and project record. So I'm not sure what I would use this for, probably some kind of tracking, I guess, but you only get one of these. So if you were using it for something like, say, keeping track of your bank balance, which I do in my Hobonichi weeks, there don't seem to be enough spaces. So it would have to be something where you only needed like 20 things. So I'm not sure, but again, because it's blank, you could really use it for anything you want. You could keep it, I don't know, for like a list of email addresses or phone numbers or something like that if you wanted to keep them in your planner. And then we go into the daily spreads. So it says daily plan at the top, and then it's got all of the months. It's got the numbers 1 through 12, and then it has the abbreviations of the months in English, January through December. And then it says date, and then it gives you Monday through Sunday that you can circle, and it has these little weather icons. And you get 4 of those per page, or per 2-page spread. So it's called a daily planner, but it's actually 4 days to a page if you were to use it like that. You could obviously use one of these single spreads for a day and have 2 columns. So it kind of gives you the option, which I think is quite nice, because it could vary depending on your day. So if you have a really busy day with a lot of to-dos, then you could just take over this whole thing, or even this whole entire spread, and just, you know, circle the date once. But if you didn't have that much going on, then you could use a separate one for each day. I think that this planner lends itself most obviously to to-do lists, because it doesn't have any times. Obviously you could write in times here and then use this as an hourly planner, but it doesn't have a huge number of lines. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you could actually use this like 1 per hour. And it has these little pots here, like little plant pots. And then every so often, there's a blank one. So there's there's a plant, and then a blank space, then 2 plants, and a blank space, then 3, then a blank space. I'm not sure if there's any method to that, if it's like supposed to be sort of like grouping the day into blocks, if you wanted to do it that way, like by hour, and just write the times in here. But that seems a little bit random to me, but maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, so to me it looks more like a to-do list planner, because it's like you have this vertical list, and then you have this box down here which you could use for meal planning or top 3 or gratitude. So I think that's quite nice. And you've got the little illustrations that are kind of scattered over the spread. And then the next page, different illustrations, the same setup. And each page is completely different illustrations, although obviously there are themes that keep recurring. So there's the umbrella and the little table with a plant on it. Here's a happy little sun. You always get the weather icons. Then you have a chair, some fish. So everyone is different, which I think is really nice, because, you know, every spread you have a surprise. And if you don't want to decorate, this planner is already so colorful that you really don't need to, but it will, you know, already look nice. In terms of paper, the paper is reasonably thick. It's quite matte. It kind of reminds me of the Happy Planner paper, if that helps. It's that sort of paper. It's not at all glossy, and it's pretty white, but it doesn't look stark white, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's maybe not as thick as the Happy Planner paper, but it's similar. So then you get more of these, and you also have this bookmark. There's one bookmark and it's grey. And it looks to me like it's finished off. So, you know, sometimes these bookmarks have like a ragged edge. This one it's like it's been kind of melted at the end so that it won't fray. So after this, you get like quite a few of these, and then you get this additional project page. So I think that this might be designed to be like, it's not one a month, I don't think, but this is like, it's like 15 pages, I think, of these daily spreads, and then you get another one of these project pages, which again, as you can see, has a different decorative scheme. And then it goes back to the daily pages. There's an elephant. So just so many adorable pictures here, and everyone is different. Like, here's a whole spread with the blue faces. So that just seems really odd to me. But this is like, I don't know, the Franken planner symbol. A whole bunch of blue faces. They really went overboard with that. And now you have some cat faces. So they're very, I think whimsical perhaps is the right word. Then again, you have another one of these project spreads. So you could actually use these. So either you could use this as an index if you're using it like a kind of bullet journal and you have lists in here that you want to be able to refer back to. or you could use this for some kind of like periodic way of keeping track. You might be able to use it for your bank balance, depending on how often you check it. And then we have more illustrations. So you see how it like the little symbols, the icons that are next to the to-do lines will kind of keep the same for about 4 or 5 spreads, and then they'll switch to a different one. And they seem to vary in numbers. So for example, here you just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then 4. So it only gives you this little icon every 5 lines. Whereas this one gives you a whole bunch of icons here. And the distribution seems to be random. So like for every different design, it puts them in a different place on the page, if that makes sense. So I'm really not sure what is going on there, but I like them. So there we have some more different ones. And then we have another project page. Some socks here. Then you have some more blue faces. See, they really like the blue faces. And then the cats. And then a different kind of face. And then you get to the end. So you have 3 of those project pages. So every 4 months it looks like there's a project page. If you were using this, like, you know, kind of continually every day. And then you have a whole spread of watermelons. And then it says 21 days plan. So this is interesting because I think there are a lot of programs that use 21 days as the benchmark, you know, like changing a habit and that kind of thing. I've heard of like 21 days being a thing. So this is this little spread that goes for 21 days. And it has some leaks, which appeared earlier in the planner as well. So you just get all kinds of stuff with this. Then you have this blank spread that has this little watercolor decoration here, but nothing else. And then this one has some different kinds of plants and like cakes and pancakes and rice. So different spreads which you could just use for notes. This one, you can only use the top half conveniently because it's got all of this decoration at the bottom. This one, it has a picture of a chair and some books right in the middle, but I think that's fine. You can still use it, and I really like these decorative touches. This one is really pretty because it has all of these leaves and flowers here, and then it's got a few random leaves here. So I just think it's really unusual and very pretty. In the middle there, at the bottom there. So I really like all of these notes pages. They just put a smile on your face. So you get quite a lot of note pages at the back. Some socks, some tea, and we come to the pen test. Okay, so I did my traditional pen test with 4 different fountain pens, ranging from extra fine to medium. So you can see that's what it looks like there. I have to say, writing on this, at the time when I was writing it, it felt a little bit like, it was a little bit odd to write on this. I don't know if I can describe it very well. It felt like it was feathering a lot. It kind of felt like the ink was somehow like sinking into the paper, if that makes any sense. So it's not a great writing experience, but for this little bit that I did, at least, I'm not sure what it would be like. Maybe you'd get used to it, but compared to, like, say, writing on, obviously, Tomoe River paper or the Happy Planner or like some of the other planner paper that I've used fountain pens on, it doesn't feel that great. It feels like there's just going to be a lot of bleeding. Then when you turn it over, it's not great, but it's not terrible. So you can see they do all ghost, but it's really only the Parker 51, the medium, that actually properly bleeds through, and it doesn't actually bleed through a lot. It's really only there. The rest of it is just very heavy ghosting. So I'd say this is not great fountain pen paper. I think if you're using a ballpoint and like probably a gel pen, you'd be okay though. And even then, it's not the worst. Like, honestly, this isn't any worse than Leuchtturm. The Leuchtturm paper that I've used, it's been similar, and paper blanks as well, especially for the like medium fountain pen. So it's really not that terrible. It's just not the best. And then this is the back where it says Joytop, and that's the website that I couldn't get to work. And that's it. That's the back. So yeah, it's a really nice, fun, happy little planner. Great if you like to-do lists, if you like cute decorations, and if you like undated planners. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye!